Brandon said after this project, he's retiring from being a handyman.
Yep, I'm all done. It's my last one. So I'm glad you guys are here to see it. Because this is it from here on out. All done, Dan.
He says he's gonna just work a lot so that we can hire it out, but
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
well, we've already decided that you're taking the winter off, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna just do nothing this winter, and I'm gonna do nothing this winter. It's gonna be great. You read the title right. We're starting another project. Welcome back to my channel, guys, and welcome to another home renovation DIY project. If you're coming from our kitchen project, you've probably heard me talk about the fact that that was gonna be our last one for a while, and I lied to you. I lied. This is unexpected. We have decided to move forward with building built-ins into our living room. That's my husband, who I have coerced into this project. Basically how this came about was that we just had Christmas. It's 2 days after Christmas. I was all geared up to be like, okay, let's just not do anything for the next couple of months during the winter. And then we realized that we needed some storage for all of the new toys that our son just got for Christmas, and the living room just looks like a daycare. It's just really, really difficult to maneuver. The toys are getting lost. There's no place for them. There's no organization. It feels really overwhelming for us, and so I know it feels overwhelming for Teddy as well. And so we said, okay, we're gonna get an organization shelf system thing. I start poking around on Amazon and I see that they're like in the $200 range for what we realistically need. And I kind of bring up to Brandon, like, we've been talking about doing this like built-in system in the living room for the duration of the 3 years we've lived here. We've been talking about it for literally since the moment we moved in. And I said, why don't we just do that now and build it so that there's a bunch of storage for toys, and then down the road, it'll just become, a decorative little nook. But for now, it'll serve the purpose of like Teddy's little area. And so I have convinced him that is going to be more cost effective, hopefully. We're always on a budget here, as you guys know. And we just came out of a very expensive kitchen renovation, or expensive for us, not crazy expensive. It was also on a budget, but for us it was expensive. So we were not intending to do this right now. So we are on a very tight budget for this one. If you guys haven't seen, it's all over TikTok. There is a hack called the Billy Bookcase hack from IKEA, where people buy the cheapy little bookshelves from IKEA and they turn them into these beautiful built-ins. They attach them all together, they trim them out, and they look custom to the home. And so in this video, we're gonna do something similar. We're not using IKEA shelves, we're using shelves from Target and Walmart, and we're going to put them all together and create a built-in. I actually made a mock-up on my computer with the products that we bought, and I'm gonna show you guys that right now, so let me take you into that. All right, so we are in Illustrator, and if you guys have ever watched any of my gardening videos, I build my garden plans the exact same way as I did this built-in. So I think it's just a really useful way, if you have access to Adobe Illustrator, to visualize things and see things to scale. So I basically turn my grid on, and then each of the squares represents, I think in this case I did an inch. I can't remember exactly, but basically like you turn your grid on and you kind of determine what your grid is going to represent for measurements, and that's how you build it. So what I did, I'm going to put up on the screen here also the photos from the websites in which we bought these pieces from. So this shelf here, this is the 6-cube organizer. I basically just traced it and dropped it in here, made sure it was correct to scale, and then I did the same with these side pieces here, just kind of traced the overall shape of it and made sure that it was correct dimensions, and then put them all together. And then what you see here is the trim. The solid black is all trim. It's obviously not super perfect, but it gave us a good visual of where everything was going to be placed. I just think that this is an extremely useful way to do things, and when I created this, I made it, I showed Brandon, and he was able to use this and follow it almost to a T. You guys will see at the end, I'm filming this post project, but you guys will see at the end, it becomes basically this exact thing. The only thing that we did change was we actually took out this shelf here, as well as this shelf. We opted to not use these two because we wanted a more open spot here to display some artwork, which you guys will see that when I do the reveal here. But cost wise, it saved us a bit. These shelves ended up being, I believe they were $20-ish a piece that we had to add in because they obviously were not original to these other pieces. So to save on cost, we took these two out, and I actually love how it came out even more than this original sketch. But yeah, so this was the overall plan for the project. Now let's get back to it. So that is the design. Let me show you guys where exactly this is going. If you've been watching my videos for a long time, you probably already know in the living room where we're gonna be putting this. So this is the corner. So this thing was there previously, and it is a giant bureau of sorts that we got from Brandon's aunt, and it's very heavy, it's very large, and it's been here since we moved in, and it has been holding a lot of things, but mostly stuff for us, not so much toys for Teddy. And then this is the corner. So we've got our wedding photos up there and our little sign that's very crooked right now, but this is the nook. So basically the plan is to make this entire wall here the built-in and have some storage on the bottom as I showed in the plan. It will be painted all this village green color, so we're going to carry the green over to here, and it's going to be all monochromatic, and I think it's going to be just absolutely gorgeous. I am so excited. So we purchased a 6-cube organizer from Target for $30. I believe it's the Room Essentials brand, and it is just, you know, your standard cheap like college furniture type of cube storage. And then we purchased 2 bookcases from Walmart. I believe they are Better Homes and Gardens, if I'm remembering right. I don't think they're Mainstays. I think they're Better Homes and Gardens. And they have 5 shelves, and then on the bottom they have a cabinet where they actually have doors on them, so we can conceal things behind the doors. It doesn't have to all be open shelving. And based on all the dimensions, we think those pieces are all going to fit very nicely together. And then we'll be trimming out the front of them so that they look cohesive. And they're also all going to be sitting up on a platform that Brandon's going to build on the floor first. It's going to be like a 4-inch platform. He's putting this massive piece of furniture out the door right now, and it's on the porch now. And it is going to go all the way up to the ceiling. We're going to box out the ceiling so it just appears to be a floor to ceiling, custom built in. The plan in our minds is going to work great, and the plan is to do this in a couple of weekends. So we will see. Today, like I said, it's 2 days after Christmas. So we're going to see how long this actually takes. Brandon predicts that we're going to be able to do a lot of the shelving and the framing it out and stuff pretty quickly, but then it's going to be the trim work that we might have to take a pause and kind of save up money for, because we want to buy nice finished trim, and that is not cheap. So if you like this type of thing, definitely stick around and see how we did it, and hopefully by the end of this we're happy with the outcome and that this is a easier DIY than the kitchen was, and shorter, because the kitchen was July to December, and we can't do that. We can't do that, folks. Let's get going. I'm assembling the cubes. This is one of those standard 6-cube organizers, and if you asked me if I was ever going to buy one of these for my house, I would say no, because I can't stand them. I just don't like them. They're not made of real wood. They're flimsy, whatever. But they're cheap, and for this project with being on a budget where we're going to customize this space, I'm okay with it. It's going to be much more sturdy. There's like a lot less risk of it getting damaged. I feel like when these are just a standalone, they just get destroyed. And I know that that's what they're made for. They're made to be used for like a year or two and then tossed. And I just don't like that concept. So I like the idea that this is going to be like permanent fixture. And the cubes will be good for storing toys, of course. We can put bins, you know, fit some bins in there. I'm assembling it with these instructions that are not the best, but we're getting there. I'll come back when it's done. The start, this singular piece, and the rest are coming tomorrow.
Oh, we did it!
We got the nail out.
We got the nail out.
right, we've got 2 tall shelves here. And then Brandon is gonna move this centerpiece. We just wanna see how they're all going to fit. So this is about where they're gonna be, just 4 inches up from the floor and completely framed out, so there won't be any gaps. Brandon is going to have to modify this one because as you can see back there, there is a bump out in the wall. He has to cut this shelf corner basically completely off so that it custom fits into that notch there. A little bit difficult, but they all fit next to each other, so that is a good thing. So this box will be the base for the whole unit, and as you can see, it accommodates for that corner over there. And now he's gonna cut the carpet out so it's sitting flush on the floor. Brandon is adding the top support for where we're gonna put the facade up on the top.
Yeah, that was the shelf that had the broken thing.
Yeah. So there's going to be a facade on the front that goes from the top of these shelves to the ceiling. So Brandon added in these pieces to support them because obviously there's not really anything behind them. It's all just a front facade. And he happened to have this scrap wood, so that's what we're using. A lot of this was using scrap pieces that we had from previous projects, which is saving us a lot on our budget here. So this is where we're at as of right now. And you just saw us ripping down a piece of, what is it, finished plywood? Particle board. Outside, Brandon bought 2 big pieces that we are cutting down into the trim pieces, which are going to have to, we're going to have to finish the edges because they are just particle boards. So they're plywoody looking on the inside. So we'll have to finish those edges to make them look pretty, the ones that are going to show, which are going to be in the center here. Otherwise, though, they work great. They are the same material on the outside as the shelving, so it'll all be cohesive. And that's what the top is going to be made of, too. It was definitely a cheaper alternative to buying actual trim, and the MDF was, Brandon said, incredibly expensive. So this saved us a little bit of money. Like that. So Brandon just put in this piece up there to cover the underside where the supports are. And we took out this shelf because I have a painting going here that I felt would fit better without that shelf and won't be as low and close to where Teddy's going to be playing. So we're going to leave it out, and I guess in the future it's easier to like add than to put it in and then decide we want to take it out later on. So we're going to just take it out for now. And this piece will now become the top for that 6-cube organizer. We are going to add that because Brandon brought up the point that once there is trim in front of here, if you look around the trim, this gap will still be here and Teddy can like get toys down there and we won't be able to access it. So that's a problem. So we do plan to put this piece over the whole top so it'll go end to end, and that'll eliminate that issue. And then we'll just make the front pretty. We'll caulk it, make it look like all one piece.
Multi-master. Multi-master. Wow. Multi. Whoa.
Oh.
And like you said, it'll help clean that edge up really nice.
Yeah, it would have been hard to fill that edge and make it look smooth and clean. So Brandon has trimmed all this out. Today is New Year's Day and he's off today, so he was able to work more on this so that it can be ready for caulk and paint and wood fill. So these edges are gonna need to be wood filled because they're obviously raw. It's just how it is with this material. Yeah, when he cut it all down to make these pieces, these edges are not finished. So we're gonna fill them, make them look pretty. These holes are also going to get filled because these shelves are pretty much where they're gonna be forever. I don't have a desire to move them. And we just decided to put this trim piece here, which I think works really well because the line now continues from the top of these cabinets across, where this 6-cube organizer was sitting slightly lower. So it looked a little bit unbalanced. It did not look like it belonged as well as the other stuff did. So now it looks like it belongs. It looks so good. Cleans up this whole corner so nicely, and so far we're extremely happy with how it's coming out. Alright guys, so the shelf is caulked for right now. There's a few spots that I didn't get to just because Brandon has to still put the wood filler on the edges, and he just said, you know, it's not worth doing the spots near there because I'm going to be working there. So we are going to wait. There's also a couple shelves over here that he just needs to like double secure because one seems to be slanting, so we just need to do some adjustments. So I didn't do over there, but the rest of it is done. You can kind of see it is paintable, so don't worry. There are little streaks and stuff on the wall, but that's all paintable. So let me spin around and show you where we're at. Okay, so we did the ceiling, so that's all sealed, and everything else you can see where the filler is for those holes, so that'll all get sanded, and all of this is all cleaned up. I think we're still really on track to have this done for next weekend. Today's Wednesday, and my hope was to have it done by this coming Sunday. So crossing our fingers that this will be a true 2-week project. We started over the weekend, so we only started, you know, a few days ago, and we're already to this point, and it's only Wednesday. So I think that's great, and Brandon is super pleased with how everything is going also. This is one of the smoother projects, knock on wood, that we've done, and I just cannot wait to see it all done. I have a bunch of stuff I'm gonna style it with, and I have a bunch of like breakables that I couldn't display before with the toddler, and now I'm gonna be able to put them up on the shelving, and they're safe, and I can, you know, show them off and stuff. Anyway, okay, we're gonna sign off for right now. I will be back when we're on to the next step.
Bingo, let's go.
We're at the Home Depot this morning to get some hardware and some appliques for the front of the shelf. It's very early. It's like 8 o'clock, 8:30. It's not that early.
Very early, 8:30 in the morning.
Okay, well, Brandon's been up since, what time did he get up?
Where's the truck?
5.
Where's the truck?
I've been up since about 7.
Where's the truck?
So
Where's the truck?
this is what I grabbed. And then also these corner pieces. I was actually looking for a more floral one because they had a floral one online, but we're not seeing it anywhere. It was like roses. But yeah, that's not what they have, so that's okay. Teddy just saw an older man in Home Depot cutting wood, and he goes, "There's Santa." So these are the hardware pieces we got. They were like the most like ornate without being like super antique looking. They didn't really have anything like that, but they are a champagne bronze. I was going for like a brass look in the living room for any of the metal, so I thought they would look really nice with the green that the shelf is going to be. The vibe we're going for in the living room, if I haven't said it already, is very like feminine, light, green tones, pinks, blues, that type of deal. So I wanted to get some pretty appliques for the shelf to just dress it up a little bit and just give it more of an ornate feel. And that would be in contrast with the kitchen design. We did more of like a, you know, I don't want to say rustic, but more of a, what do you want to say? Like primitive feel with the reds and the yellows and stuff like that. So this is going to be kind of the opposite. I'm excited. All right, Brandon is priming. Appliques are all primed to match now. All right, we're on weekend 3 of the shelf build, and I'm hoping, we're crossing our fingers that this is the last weekend that we're working on this. We're hoping to finish it up pretty much today, maybe odds and ends sometime early this week. But as you can see behind me, it's painted green. Brandon did the first coat, and you can probably tell that it's pretty patchy. You can kind of see down there that there's some spots that the paint is not taking like what we want. And full disclosure, with this material that these shelves are made of, you guys are probably familiar with those like cheapy, you know, cube organizers, shelves and stuff you can get at Walmart and Target. Like what we did, the material is not paintable. So what we had tried to do was a bonding primer, which I showed in a previous clip here, but it's still not taking 100% in all the places. The primer didn't take great, and now on top of that, the paint's not taking great. We're finding that once you do like a second coat, or if you go back over it, it's not too bad. And the idea behind the upper part of the shelf at least is that it's not going to be really being touched a lot. So we're hoping that if it is super sensitive and prone to peeling, that it won't too much, because it's not going to be like a high traffic area. Down below is a different story. So we may have to do some touching up over time, because obviously it's for our son to store his toys, and you know, that was the whole point of this. So we fully expect there to be some dings and scratches and peeling in places. The next step also is to caulk this trim up near the ceiling and get that trim painted, the green also. So it's just a little bit more, I don't know, polished looking and seamless into this shelf area. I'm gonna come back when we've done a second coat, and then I will show you guys how I plan to style this, at least the top part, and I'll show you how we organize the toys down at the bottom part. We're getting to that point in this project where it's just annoying that it's still going on. This always happens to me with DIYs, where a project is super fun at first, we're excited, and then you get to a point towards the end where it's just like the details need to be done. And it just feels like it's taking forever. It feels like it's crawling. That's where we are. So I've been painting the doors to the cabinets. Brandon did the first coat last night. And we also did all of the trim around the entire living room to bring the color all the way to the ceiling, which we had done in our kitchen renovation too. I don't know if you can see behind me, but like that top trim here is painted. So we did that in the living room with the green. The doors are taking forever because we're having that same issue with the paint sticking. Brandon sanded them down. Pro tip, if you're using this kind of material, 100% you need to sand it. Bonding primer is not enough, or at least the one we used, it was not enough. He sanded the doors and they're painting a lot better than a lot of the other shelving did. So fingers crossed that this paint holds on. We have one door that's like not painting great. The other 4 are doing fine. Why do we have 5? Oh, there's 6. Why do we have 6? Oh, these are shelves. Okay, some of them are shelves and some of them are doors. So the doors are painting really good. The shelves, not so much. Oh my gosh, I just had the biggest moment of confusion there. Like, I was like, why do we have so many doors? No, some of them are shelves. Let me show you. These are the doors, and then there's one more door down here. I just don't have space for all of them. So I just did the next coat on this side, and then these are gonna dry. They will get flipped over, we'll do the other side, and then we're gonna do all of these. So this is the one that's not painting well. As you can see, this is what it does. And it just flakes and it's annoying. However, one of the shelves is not being put back in the cabinet. We're gonna leave it open on the side where that like weird box, like notch part is. We're gonna leave that whole side just open and tall so that we can put like bins and stuff in there. That's gonna hold all of the art supplies and everything. That side's gonna be locked. So maybe that shelf that's not painting very well, I think that maybe Brandon's planning to just not use it. That would be good if that's the case, because everything else is painting fine. I can't wait to put the new hardware on these and show you guys what it all looks like all together, and I cannot wait to style it and have my kitchen not be a disaster anymore. I will come back when we are hopefully putting the doors back on.
I'm filming you. It's part of being married to me. It was in our vows. You just didn't know it. You actually signed in the marriage license. There was a waiver. And you agreed to be on camera forever. So Brandon's putting these 2 doors back on, and the other 2 still need another coat on the other side. But we don't have enough space on the table, so he's installing these, and then the other 2 are gonna get painted right after this. The moment of truth, will they fit? This side was giving him trouble prior to the doors coming off. It was crooked because of where the rest of that side of the shelf is anchored. It kind of like sucked it downward and made the door a little wonky. So let's see if that's fixed. Probably not, but
Here you go. 2 doors.
looks really good. Looking pretty. If you guys are wondering what this is, we were originally gonna paint this trim piece down here, and then we decided at the last second not to, but we had already gotten primer here, and it's only over here. But I think what we're gonna do is leave the face, this is getting cut by the way, this carpet, so that it's tucked under there, but I think we're gonna leave the face wood, and then we're gonna just do the lip green, because otherwise we'd have to sand all of this off and then re-poly the wood. Like, no. So it's a little too late there. So I think just the lip of this will be green and the rest will be wood.
All right, good morning. Today is the day that we are decorating the shelf and getting all the toys on it organized. I'm excited. The base is not painted yet. That is probably going to be like a project during Teddy's nap today, just to get the very edge of the base painted. So there is still primer on there. It's still like not looking great, but the rest of it is completely done and ready to go. So we're going to just start moving stuff on, and I'm going to show you guys all the little knickknacks that I'm putting up there. Some of it's thrifted, some of it's stuff from my grandmother over the years. Some of it's just stuff that we've had here that, you know, is not necessarily thrifted, but I've just had for a long time. And I'm really excited to see it all come together. I definitely have a couple things that I still want to get for it. One of them being a new lamp. I want to get like a small, like kind of porcelain, pretty painted lamp, but I have not found one yet that I think will work. I also do want to put some florals up there, some faux florals, but I have not been able to thrift hydrangeas, which is what I really want up there. So I think I'm going to ultimately end up buying them, I guess. I like the idea of like thrifting everything, but there just haven't been any hydrangeas at Goodwill or any of the thrift stores that I've been at. I passed on a huge bunch of faux hydrangeas like 2 years ago at my Goodwill, and I to this day regret it, because ever since then I've just had a need. I've wanted to decorate with faux hydrangeas. I just think they're so pretty, and I love the vibe that they give off, and yeah, I just can't find any to thrift. So we are gonna go and probably buy some eventually here, but probably not today. So I'll film today, and then once we have everything like done, or as close to done as I can get it, I will do kind of like a final reveal panning shot of all the stuff, and you guys will see the whole thing. So that might not be, that won't be today. Yeah, we are gonna at least get everything kind of on there and get the toys up in there and get them off of my floor, because oh my gosh, I am so done with working around piles of toys.
So first thing I'm going to show is this radio. This was my grandmother's, and it won't be plugged in. It's just going to be for show. And then in this box are the things that I'm probably most excited to put out on the shelf. And these are the figurines that were my great-grandmother's that my grandmother gave to me. And let me just show you. So they are all like this blue and white porcelain, and they are all these orchestra people from, you know, like the Rococo period, like the 1770s or so.
And there's a bunch of them. There's quite a few. There's a vase in here. There's a few different ones. They're all this white and blue, and I just think they are so pretty, and I'm excited to be able to display them without worrying about them getting destroyed. So they will be high up on the shelf, but yeah, I gotta get them all clean, so I will show them once they are clean and put up there. Happy Monday! It's the day after we did our decorating, and I am coming on to close this all out and to give you guys a tour of the entire built-in unit. We're so happy with how it came out. It's looking awesome. It definitely has room for more decor, and I do plan to add a few things within the next couple of weeks. I just haven't gotten them yet, but overall it's beautiful, functional. We love it. I have one more section that I need to add to, which is going to be the cabinet that we are putting Teddy's art stuff in. I am going to try to fit as much of it in there as possible, and then that cabinet will be locked, but it'll just basically store all of his coloring and paint stuff and Play-Doh and just all the things that make big messes will be in there. And then when we want to use them, we'll just take them out of there, and he typically colors and uses stuff like that in the kitchen in more of a controlled environment. So I'm going to do that right now, and then we'll get on with the tour. See if I can get this open so you guys you guys aren't going to be able to see like that. Okay, so this is the other cabinet that we have not yet used. The first one will have, you'll see, it has stuff in it that he can access, but this one will stay closed on the other side. So I just have a huge thing of all of his art stuff. Some of this I don't think we're gonna put in here because it's just like older stuff. I have rolls of craft paper that I buy, and when he wants to color, I usually tape a big piece of it to the kitchen table, and then I'll put his coloring books and stuff on top of that so he can also color on the craft paper and not my table. Should probably go through a lot of this first before starting to load things in here. We've got his crayons. These are these big like peanut shaped ones that he got for his first birthday. They're still going strong. He loves them. The box is ripped, so I might need to fix that, but not a big deal. The boy does love his art. Okay, so we've got sticker books, a coloring book, another coloring book, bluey stickers. He has all these wooden puzzles that he was using, but all of the pieces are everywhere. I don't think I'm going to keep them in here. I think I'm going to put them away for toy rotation. And I'm going to talk more about toy rotation when I'm showing you this entire setup, because we will be implementing it. We have a lot more toys than are in this living room. And there's stuff that he plays with that's up in his room and stuff, but it just doesn't all fit in the living room. So toy rotation is going to be, I think, a big thing this coming year. We have these animal flashcards, which these really could stay out, but I'm just going to put them in here just to keep them all together because they're already kind of scattered. Another coloring book. Okay, I'm going to come back when I have more of this organized, and then I'll show you what I'm putting in here. But for right now, it's kind of boring, and it's just me sorting things. So I will be back in a minute. Okay, so I got it down to some categories here. So we've got stickers, coloring, or stickers and crafts, kind of like crafty things, coloring, and then musical instruments. I wanted Play-Doh to fit in here. It's not going to. The bin that we have it in right now doesn't work with this. It's too wide. So I think what I'll do is I'm gonna get some long, skinnier containers and try to put the Play-Doh in those instead. So the Play-Doh will probably eventually be in here because I don't have another place for it in this house that makes sense anyway, other than putting it like in the attic. And I don't want to do that, so that's just gonna be a pain anytime he wants to play with the Play-Doh. So we have all the sticker books. There's a bunch in here. This one you color, it reveals the colors with a mess-free marker, which is right here, so I'm going to keep all of that together. I've got flashcards. Again, this is more of an activity, but again, I don't want to lose them or have them get ripped or be all over the living room, so they're just going to stay in here for right now, and they are all animals. These are cute. I got them at the Dollar Tree, and they were a stocking stuffer for Teddy. We also have a a little airplane kit. This was from Teddy's friend Amelia. Her birthday theme was planes, and they gave out little craft kits for all the kids. So there's a little plane, and you can paint it, and then you can make it, it looks like into like a little ornament. There's a little place to hang the plane, or you can hang it wherever. It's a plane, so it's supposed to be flying, right? But he hasn't gotten around to doing this yet, so I still have it here with all of this stuff, and we'll just keep it in here for like a rainy day to do a craft. We've got the craft paper. This is not the neatest, but it does work. We have kind of like one piece that we use for 3 or 4 sessions of coloring. I flip it around and stuff, and he just has ample space to color. And then after a while we toss it and get a new one. We've got all of the coloring books here. Those fit nice. And then I just ran and got one of my Christmas tins that I've had and have not used. So all the crayons are in here now. We don't have to deal with these boxes and them getting ripped and destroyed and trying to contain all the crayons. They're all just in here now. And if you guys are wondering why we didn't do a shelf in here, it's because I wanted to be able to stack bins when we do get bins. The goal is to have all of these in their own bins. We just don't have them yet. So they will be, you know, stickers will be in one, craft stuff will be in another, coloring will be in one, Play-Doh will be in one. And the hope is that they'll just stack up really nice in here. And the other reason we didn't do a shelf was because of this little weird bump out corner. Brandon had to cut this entire unit around this, and just thought cutting around like for the shelf is just extra work. Do we really need a shelf in here? No. So this allows for us to stack more bins anyway. It works out. Perfect. And we have a lock. It goes through these 2 here and locks in the center, and that way he can't get into this one. And yeah, otherwise that's it. Let's get on with the tour of the rest of the unit. Down here in this cabinet, for right now, I have some of Teddy's just most used toys. So all of his Toy Story, and then his Lightning McQueen, his little camera, and his tissue box. He loves to play with those like pieces of fabric that came in his tissue box. He likes to like organize them and stuff. I don't know. That's one of the like baby toys we still have that he loves. So these are all in here. There's a bunch more in the toy box still, but as you can see, there's space in here if I wanted to add more. And this is probably like a lot of this will be on the rotation. Like I will be moving stuff in and out of here quite frequently. And then up above on the shelf, we've got his puzzles. I really wanted to put these in the cabinet, but they did not fit. As you can see, they are the exact depth of the cabinet. So when you put it here with a door, it just doesn't work. The door won't close. So they're just up there. It's okay. They're out of the way. Then we've got some of his books. This is just what was down here when we were decorating the shelf. I will be bringing down a lot more of his books and rotating them on a weekly basis. And I'll show you on the other side. It's completely open and ready for there to be more books. He's got his little Bluey figurines. He loves these so much. And they just hang out there. Then up above, we have a replica radio. This was my grandmother's. And when she came to live with us, it came with her. And now we get to display it. We didn't have a place for it before. So now it has a spot. I have just a floral in the middle of that. I actually used it at my wedding, and I had it in my office before. It's just here for now. I don't know if it'll stay, but I wanted to give a little floral element to the shelf. And then that's a picture of my late stepdad. And then up above, I've got a bunch of my cookbooks and my kind of homemaking books. These were also in my office. I'm working to actually rearrange a little bit up there to fit our second litter box that we just had to add for our new kitty. Her food and litter box is upstairs right now, so I needed to make some space. So the shelf that these books were on is going away, but I think they work here. There'll probably be something next to them eventually, something small. Then moving up here, we've got a vase. This was my grandmother's, or sorry, my great-grandmother's, and it's really beautiful. I was a little worried that it looks like an urn. Brandon also thought it looked like an urn, but we're rolling with it because no florals are gonna fit in there. It is like the perfect height for the shelf. So yeah, it's just gonna stay like that. It's fine, guys, it's fine.
Probably will add something else here too next to it. I don't know yet. Next to it, we've got just a couple of books. Those were on my shelf upstairs as well. They're kind of old-timey looking, so I moved them down here. And then in the center here, we have the painting. So, well, it's a print, but sorry, I'm trying to get you guys to see it without this glare. There we go. I picked this up at Goodwill. It was like $10, I think. And I love the colors in it. I thought it complemented the shelf and the room in general. I'm starting to move over to kind of like a garden theme in here. Dainty, florals, that type of thing. And I thought it went well. So that's that. That's the frame it came in, everything. I just cleaned it, hung it up. And then over here, we'll start at the top. These figurines were also my great-grandmother's. These were in her house when I was a kid growing up, and I would play colonial days and all that good stuff. As you could see, I had a lot of inspiration, but I showed these in a different clip. They're like a Rococo kind of theme, and there's a few missing that I used to have as a kid. I like to rearrange them and stuff at her house. And then the picture in the back was also hers as well. You'll notice a blue and white theme here. That was a lot of what was in my great-grandmother's house, and I, to this day, absolutely love blue and white, so I think it works well. And then this shelf is currently empty. I don't know what's going to go here yet. Maybe some more books, my books, or some more little knickknacks. I'd like to find some bookends. We'll see. Then on this shelf, like I said, this is going to be where the little lamp is. It'll be battery powered, and these candlesticks will probably move elsewhere or just move over. These are two that I found at Goodwill. I'm planning to do a thrift haul very soon, and I think these will be in it. They're really pretty. They're not a perfect match to each other, and I like that. And then this is a photo of my great-grandparents. And so I just have that here. Again, this one looks really bare and needs something else because, yeah, we just need like a little lamp here or something. And then the one below it is completely empty as well. And this is going to be more of Teddy's books. Like I was saying before, this is reserved for him, this level of the shelf. So we have tons of books. I'll be bringing a bunch down. So he'll have his own little library both upstairs and down. And then the center is completely empty at the top right now, which I'm fine with. I'm thinking about putting in a little padded, pretty floral, you know, not a seat, I guess, because it's sitting kind of high to be a seat, but just like a topper there. What do you guys think? I have a bunch of like leftover floral fabric from my quilt, and I feel like I could make a little padded thing there pretty easily. What do you guys think? I don't know. I feel like the cats would also really like that if I did it, so we'll see. Down here is Teddy's entire area. So we have in this cube his leap pad and his aqua doodle mat is under there. That thing is so cool. You fill up the pens with water. Let me see if I can, there's one. You fill up the pens with water and they draw on the mat and they reveal the colors and stuff underneath. It's mess free. I love it. And then on top of that is his leap pad. It's his Leap Start, and it's kind of like the toddler age one, preschool toddler. He's got a bunch of little books. There's two that came with it, and then he's got a bluey one. He loves this thing. This thing will keep him entertained forever. Then below it, we have the first bin. So this is all of his little people. We have a house and a barn and a pirate ship and a bunch of sets. So these are all of the pieces, and I just threw them all in one bin. I know it's going to drive some people crazy, but I didn't really have the space to organize them all into separate bins. So everything is in there, at least. Then moving over here in the center, we have his train set pieces. They're all just wooden pieces. This entire thing, yes, is full. That's a lot. And then up above, we have a smaller bin of all of the pieces that go with it. So there's like a helipad, there's like the bridge, the railroad crossing, and there's a bunch of buildings. So we've got all of those in there. And then next to it's his little harmonica. He absolutely loves that thing, plays it all the time. So I had to keep it out and close. And then the next bin over are
magnetiles, which these are his latest obsession. He got a bunch for Christmas and he is a fanatic over them. He will sit and build and connect them for hours, and they keep him so entertained. The only thing about them is I did see that there is a concern with some of them breaking open and there's magnets inside. That's how they connect. So I've been just watching really carefully and making sure that if any appear broken, we throw them away. So far so good. None of them have cracked or anything. But yeah, just as a heads up, if you have kids and you're thinking about getting these, apparently some of the brands on Amazon are a little bit cheaper and they break. So that can pose a risk of a kid ingesting a magnet. However, I do really enjoy these and I think they're awesome if you're, you know, supervising your kids with them. Highly recommend. They have a million different sets and sell them at Target, Amazon, all over the place. And yeah, so we have a bin of those. And then finally, up above there, we've got his reusable sticker books. These are new, and they just have these little cling stickers that stick onto the book and only certain surfaces. They're not sticky. They're literally just like little clings, like window clings. And he's got a bunch of themed ones. These aren't even all the ones we have. We have 2 or 3 more that we haven't given him yet. Just starting him with these. Maybe I'll put the other ones in that locked cabinet for now. That's a good place for them. But yeah, so we've got those. And then up above that, oh, here's another one. There we go. Up above that, we have his little Velcro book adorned with cat hair. But this thing, let me open it and show you. He loves this thing. It is like counting and animals, and this one's body parts and senses, and then the colors. I have to glue a couple of these back on. He was a little rough with it. Then there's like buckles and stuff in the back, and then the shapes, which we are apparently missing some. I'm sure those are under the couch. But anyway, he loves this thing. Keeps him very entertained. And so that one stays out and close so that he's able to access it. But yeah, that is everything for right now. And as you can probably tell, there's space for new stuff. Like, this is not full to capacity. I could easily fit more into these cubes, and we can switch stuff out, which is great. He's got his mega blocks and things, and I think eventually, you know, those will go in here. We'll maybe switch them out for the train set or the magnetiles. He's got a bunch of stuff in his room. So hopefully this will keep our living room a little bit neater for a long time. So that is going to do it for this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Again, it was kind of an impromptu project we did not intend on, and I think in the end it worked out really well. It ended up being really practical, and Brandon, as much as he at first was kind of grumpy about the whole thing and was like, I wanted to take the winter off, he's really, really happy with it. And we're still in January as I'm filming this. So we really did not go too far into the new year. And now we can rest. And we can rest in a cleaner, more organized setting, which is lovely. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. You can go and check out our other renovations. They are on a playlist. And my full kitchen reveal should be coming out after this one. And that will be the last piece of the puzzle as far as renovations go for a little while. If you haven't watched my New Year kind of goals and aspirations, go ahead and check that out. I explain a little bit more about the project situation. But I think the next project will be my garden in the spring. So come on back for that if that is what you're liking. Seeing us kind of build things and put things together. This has been really fun, and I'm so glad that you guys have been enjoying these videos. If you like homemaking, lifestyle, learning about life here in Maine, all of that, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!